So there is certain anime off the jump you're going to absolutely vibe with. That is the exact feeling that I got when I read the description and synopsis for Uncle from Another World. And if you weren't familiar, I'll give you the 10-second rundown on what the synopsis is. Person dies when he was 17 years, or person dies when he's young, spends 17 years in a parallel world. He is finally yeeted back to our real world, but this is 17 years later. So he spent 17 years in another world. He now is introduced and finds his nephew, and him and his nephew now are starting a social media account with the powers that he has maintained from the other world as he begins to share the experiences from the other world, including his powers with his nephew and with the world. Immediately, Uncle from Another World was an anime that I was looking forward to from the get-go, and the anime did not disappoint. Episode number 1, I hella freaking laughed. I love the denseness of this old dude. I love everything about this anime. There is one looming thing, though, that is definitely evident that may or may not deter people from the anime, and I'm sensitive towards this, so I completely get it when people are sensitive towards this, because I am as well. There's certain anime that I just purely cannot watch no matter what. And that is because of the animation and the animation work. And in this animation, or in this anime, the animation is very like comic book style. It's very like low budget. And I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's not great by any means. And if you're sensitive towards certain animation styles, like you're just like, it's such a turn off, you can't watch it. I completely get it. I am that way with like a lot of 3D anime. That's why I can't watch a lot of Dunhua, even though some of it has really, really good story. Like, because China tends to do a lot of 3D anime essentially, I just can't watch it because I think it looks so bad that no story can redeem it. So if that's you, I completely understand. It's just not for you. But if you are willing to look past the ugly animation, I think it absolutely nailed everything it's going for. So during the episode, we get introduced with the uncle, okay? And this dude has risen from the grave, and he has now shown Takafumi, which is his nephew, kind of like his powers. He has shown him what he's able to do. He shows him wind magic. He talks in this random language, but he can still talk and understand Japanese. And Takafumi begins introducing him to everything about this new age. Immediately, dude was obsessed back in the day with Sega. I think he fell into a coma or whatever in 2004. He immediately wanted to know more about Sega. This dude ruins his day. He uses a spell on himself to forget the fact that he just said that Sega's not around anymore because he got obliterated. Hilarious. Anime started off with Takafumi walking in the hospital, nearly getting hit by Truck-kun, didn't get hit. Hilarious. We get to see their first YouTube video that they put out with him doing like a lightsaber, like a little, like a flame or like a lightning sword. Funny. We get to see them at the end. He uses his item box, which is like an item box from another world, and he puts a sword through him. We get to see that turn into a YouTube video. Hilarious. Gets 2 million views. Hilarious. Like, this is just, it's hella funny, and I'm underselling it here for sure. But I love that this dude is so far removed from reality, or from this current reality, that he wants to get a flip phone and a smartphone. He wants to have like an old school 2005 phone. Takafumi has to tell him like, yo, it's a 2G phone. It's not going to work no more. Like, no matter, even if you get it, it's not going to work no more. This dude can fly. He can use magic, like all kinds of just insaneness. It is just absolutely hilarious. And I think it nails everything. Then it shows us the time that Takafumi's uncle spent in another world. And we get to see some of his memories. We get to see him basically getting on one knee and proposing to this tsundere elf girl, which Takafumi is just like in awe about, because he's like, yo, uncle, why didn't you realize you just proposed to this girl? That's why she was sticking around with you forever. He's like, this is your wife now, homeboy. And he doesn't get it at all. He's so effing dense. So I am in it for the long haul because I cannot wait until Takafumi puts him on the reality of like, you just left your wife in the other world. He's gonna have to do everything in his power now to get his ass back there, and hopefully Takafumi can get back there as well. But I love that this anime is conveying the what can go wrong if you're hella ugly and get isekai in another world. You get called a monster, an orc. Everybody hates you. You're immediately feared by everybody. He comes up with an awesome invention, but it goes against the church's religion over there. So he gets exorcised and put on a stake, almost killed. Like, this anime just goes places, and I am in for a long call. This was definitely a delight of the day, and I am extremely excited to see what comes next from Uncle from Another World. This was so good. I cannot wait to see more. I want to see more of his adventures in the other world. I want to see more of his ugly ass getting mistaken for an orc. And I want to see more of him spending time with his party members, the people that surrounded him, as well as his wife, the elf that he left in another world. It's going to be hilarious. I also want to find out on how he ended up coming back. And was that a spell? Did he defeat the demon lord? Was it accidental? Did he die? I want to know more about how he ended up coming back to this other world. But if you watched it, let me know what you think. This is a Netflix anime. It's officially launching in July. Right now, you're going to have to do a Google search, so don't get at me in the comments. You got to do a Google search. Uncle from Another World, Episode 1. Websites will come up. Use Google. It's right there. Don't be Takafumi's uncle. Be like, how do you use the internet? You can find it. It's out there. Is it legal? Absolutely not, but you can do it anyways, so use a VPN. The one that I have in the description. You can use that. You get a discount code. You save me some money. All right, I'll see you in the next week on the next video. Peace.